Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
So what's nice about the checklist versus the SOP, let's say you're hiring this new role. They have all of their functions. They have checklists for each function. You say, hey, as long as the checklists are accurate, I don't care how you get to the result, right? I had my process, but I'm going to let you figure out the best process for you. And maybe obviously there's coaching involved there. There's conversations where you figure out what the best process is, but then you can find what is the best way to do those things with this new hire, give them some ownership in it. And that's whenever you're able to create SOPs, and they can create it rather than you, because they're the ones that are doing it every day. They're going to know the details. They're going to be more diligent about it. And it's important that they do those SOPs early on in the hiring process. I'm not saying the first week, but in the first 90 days, they should get started creating SOPs for their role, because it sets the expectation that you document your job. And then it allows them to, one, they leave, you can hire someone with SOPs that actually work, right? That are proven, not just you coming up with them out of thin air. But two, if they want to be promoted, they're going to need to fill their role. So now they understand that role. They can train someone on it. They can manage that person with the effective SOPs and the checklists. And then they can be promoted to the next spot to be able to do the same thing, right? So I always think it starts with function, then checklist, rather than SOP and then hire. And then you don't really know where you're going, right? But anyways, that's something that came up this week that I wanted to make sure we went over.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, and I agree with you 100%.
Okay. So I think going back to AI, I think that's where you start with some of this, rather than just, you don't have a business function chart probably. Ideally, you have your business function chart and you review it fairly regularly, because things change and things are missed. And what I think you can also do with the function chart that kind of ties back into your org chart, take a picture or initials of each person on your team. And if, we build out business function charts for people and we put them into a Google Slides. So then you just take the box of, KB, and you put it next to the box on the chart, right? And then you can duplicate KB and put them all over
And
to see all the different functions.
you can also delete it when they fire your butt.
Yeah.
Get that guy out of there.
But that allows you to see all the different areas that you're covering as an owner, that your assistant's covering, that this foreman's doing. And then that allows you to see capacity too. Holy cow, foreman's actually on, 25 different boxes here. It's probably better to get some of these things off of their plate,
Yeah.
right?
On that subject, one of the uses, pretty common uses of org charts or function charts is I'll be talking to an owner of a small business and they're overwhelmed and they say, I've got to get somebody to help me. And the thing that they were doing that day that is wearing them out, maybe they were delivering stuff. Now I got to hire a delivery guy. No, we go back to the function chart and we look at all the things and go, where do you really spend? This happened with Jeff. Where do you really spend your time that we could get the most bang for the buck of hiring? And it was not what we thought it, but by looking on the chart, we could say, oh, I do this, this, and this. I can hire one guy who can take all three of those functions off my plate. And it's a clarifying agent, because if you're just doing it under duress, you're going to be thinking about the issue at hand that's, wiping you out right at this moment. And that's not
Yeah.
always the thing that you need to act on first.
Well, and another thing to point out here about the difference in org chart and function chart is that titles mean nothing. You could be shop manager at this place, and then you go to the next company and you're shop manager and you're doing a completely different job. It could be totally different. One, you're actually managing guys. One, you're just dealing with inventory and how clean the shop is. Like, I mean, I was just on a different podcast earlier this week, and they were talking about how it seems like every, person at a bank goes from bank teller to VP. There's their next, jump, where they're VP of, what, loan officer, whatever. So titles don't mean anything.
Well,
Functions mean,
they do in that context, but not for
they,
your point. Yeah, a
well,
lot
what
of
I'm
times they're given in lieu of wages, but that's not your point is totally good.
Well, they're given in lieu of wages, in lieu of responsibilities, in lieu of experience. I mean, they just mean completely different things. And so rather than trying to find, like if you were going to go and try to hire someone, rather than thinking, hey, I need to hire this title, you should be thinking, I need to hire these functions.
Right.
Right.
Completely.
And then what the reality is also, if you're really trying to find someone on Indeed, for example, you shouldn't be posting a job ad for a title. You should be posting them for multiple titles that typically do those functions. Right. So instead of, let's say you need someone to do dispatch. Well, you could use the term dispatcher. You could also use the term service coordinator. You could use the term operator, like phone operator. You could use the term scheduler. Like there's going to be a lot of different terms that people are searching for the same exact job because there's different titles for the same functions. So titles mean nothing. Functions mean everything. Focus on the functions. And then you can build out the title, you can build the role around what functions you need, as long as they're within reason. That's how I would approach it. So I think this is hopefully valuable. We're kind of all over the place, but it's just a conversation. That was kind of the goal of today, is doing a little bit different and just talking.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you, so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, it might be there, it might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.